What's up, Hustlers Horizon Podcast, episode 24.
Yep.
Having a blast, man. It's going by fast. And today we have Kevin Van Voris. This dude's awesome,
Yeah.
Pedro. He's awesome.
I try to be.
It's awesome. So,
Yeah.
Kevin, how are you doing today?
Good. Busy, you guys know. So
Oh,
I like
yeah.
to stay busy.
Yeah, well, by the way, I did the introduction wrong. Kevin Van Voris, of course, you all know. If you're watching this, you got to know this guy.
Yeah.
The owner of Contagion Athletics, where everyone gets their workout on, where I probably need to be. But I love food. But, I'll make my way there eventually. So, Kevin, man, let's get right into it. You got this gym going. It's successful. You're staying busy. What got you into that? Let's hear the story of how you got started with this gym.
Well, that's a good question. Contagion Athletics actually started out of my garage at WT. So we started just as a clothing company. So I used to print T-shirts out of my garage. So that's how it originally started. Played football at WT. I was All-American. Was going to go to the NFL. Trained for that. Didn't work out. I was still training for it. And then I opened up a small gym. It was like 1,900 square feet. It was called Van Voris Performance.
Okay.
It was a little hole in the wall, little garage gym. I had that for 4 years, and then about a year in is when we started designing Contagion Athletics. So I'm blessed to be able to have a giant gym. That was never part of my plan.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome over there. Where was that small gym at? Where did it start? In Canyon or here in Willow?
What is it, off of Bell and Canyon Drive? There's that little business park over there. It's like Triangle Realty. I think
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've heard
That's
of it.
awesome.
That is dope, man.
Yeah, you walk into that gym and the atmosphere. I think the few times I've had the honor of going to shoot some videos of the bodybuilding and all that, and I've taken some pictures but just the atmosphere of the people that I know that work out there, or even when I've went in there, it's just an awesome environment. Right, sometimes you walk into a gym and it's super intimidating. You're like, oh my gosh! You hear the weights slamming, and you're like, all right, I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home and do some P90X. But what was your goal when you opened this gym? Right, you have this vision, and congrats on that because it's a beautiful
amazing.
gym. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So when you started it, though, number one, you wanted obviously people get in there and working out and stuff. But what was the main inspiration to say, you know what, you started with your clothing, but let's open this gym. Let's get into this.
For me, I wanted to create a community where everybody's welcome. So, yes, gyms are intimidating, but we have like 95-year-old people who work out there. We've got bodybuilders. We've got powerlifters who squat like 600, 700 pounds. My biggest thing is what you said, is when you walk in, you can't buy a vibe. You can buy the best equipment. You can have graffiti on the walls.
Yeah.
You can copy my exact gym, but you can't buy a vibe. And that's what I've created. And that was my biggest thing is when you walk in, you just, like this is the place to be. And you want to actually come and do more than just work out. You want to come to the events, hang out, and you want to be part of the community, part of the family, so to speak.
That's what I was going to mention. You're pretty involved in the community, right? Y'all just had the, what was it? Forgot. Where the taco trucks and all that stuff. What was it called?
I try and do a lot for the community just because I feel like as a business owner, you should give back to the community.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
If I was in any other city, I wouldn't have this $20 million gym. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
So I try and give back as much as I can, whether it's with our Caffeine in Cars, car shows that donate to organizations and locally, whether it's just putting on events. I just want to keep doing things that, it's Amarillo. There's not much to do.
Absolutely.
But I feel like if more business owners can keep doing events, kind of like what I'm doing, I mean, I'm all about it. Whether it's drag racing events, car shows, food stuff, like whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why I think you guys doing the podcast is cool because I feel like Amarillo is like 10 years behind, probably.
Exactly. That's what
I feel like we're 10 years behind.
Yeah.
So I think what you guys are doing is awesome because it kind of allows people to show themselves as business owners and entrepreneurs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that you said that. Thank you for saying that because when we were coming up with this idea, it was like, man, what do we want to make it about? Because we did not want to be just two other guys just shooting the shit talking about nonsense for like an hour or two, right? It's let's get in here. Let's really give people this platform. Not that they necessarily need it, but I mean, you're very successful, but I want people who want to be a business owner.
Absolutely.
Maybe they want to do what you're doing to say, look, we're going to bring in someone who's done it, but you're going to talk about the ups and downs and to inspire them because a lot of these business owners, people just see the success. They just see the $20 million gym. They see this and they're like, man, he's a very successful guy. but there's a story behind it.
They don't see the hard work
that you don't always get asked, right? You're just like, dude, great job. Like, you're badass. Like, you're just probably super rich and successful. But
it gives you that platform to talk about it, right? We're not on a time schedule. And you can say whatever you want.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I was going to ask you about your gym. What all is in there? I think I've been there about once. I live across town. But what all do y'all provide in there?
So my biggest thing is you have to figure out a way to make money besides gym memberships. Yeah. If you only do gym memberships, Amarillo is not the best place to do that because fitness here is not like it is in other cities. So what I did is we have our clothing retail center. We've got a recovery area now that we just built. Spent like $45,000 on that, but just so that way you got a cold plunge and saunas and recovery room. But we have a car detail shop. I'm a big car guy, obviously.
At the gym?
At the gym.
Oh, yeah, we were going to get into that in a little bit.
Yeah. And then I have a full service cafe. So we have a drive-through. We're the first gym in the world to have a drive-through at the gym. So you could pull up and not get out of your car and order, waffles or shakes or coffee, whatever.
That's awesome.
That is dope.
Dude, what's next? Are you going to start renting out little apartments?
If I could, trust me, I would. If I could, I would.
Imagine everything's there. You just work out, do your thing. That's awesome. So, you got the car detailing there, and I see on social media you're a big car guy. Let's talk about some of your favorite cars that you have. You said you're like, I don't have kids, I have cars. Wow.
I do.
Let's talk about that. What's one of your favorite ones you have?
For honestly, like if I had to pick one, it'd be my Trackhawk. It's got a Hellcat engine. It's a Jeep. If I had to pick one, but like my dream car has always been a Dodge Viper. So I've been fortunate enough to have another one because during COVID I had a black one. I had to sell it because I had no clue what was going to happen. So I had to sell it, even though it was my dream car. And luckily, I'm in the position I got to buy another one.
Nice.
But like I didn't grow up with like people have misconceptions about me. Like I didn't grow up with cars. Like so when I was able to afford something nice, like I remember buying my first Hellcat. And I'm like, damn, like this is what's up. This is hard work, like showing itself. But I didn't grow up with money or anything like that. Like we lived on Social Security, like my mom did. So like we didn't grow up with any of that. So I always tell people, the people who you think are successful most of the time grow up without money.
Exactly, yeah.
It's not
and
like...
you grew up here in Amarillo?
No, I'm originally from California. Okay. So I came here because of the football program at WT.
Oh, WT. Okay,
so, and then I started personal training, interning at the town club, actually. And then I was there for about a year. And then I was transitioning, still trying to go to the NFL. I decided to open up my own spot just because I knew I could make more money out of my own gym versus paying rent at someone else's facility.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's, and you said it. I mean, a lot of people get that misconception of that you've always just had it all.
It's hard work, man.
But you got to start somewhere. And just hearing that, though, of how you grew up, it didn't stop the vision that you had.
No.
Now, you're from California. You moved here for the football program, and you started interning and training and personal training. What kept you in Amarillo?
What's funny is I was offered to go play in Canada, and I decided to turn that down because it wasn't my dream. But what happened as far as like what kept me here was I was interning, I was making money, so I was like a broke college student. I was like, cool, I'm making a little bit of money while I'm in college. And then I came back to finish training for the NFL here. And some of those clients reached out and like, hey, you want to make some money? I'm like, well, yeah, I don't got any money. Yeah, I'll come make some money. What? So I came back from California, but I had a job opportunity where Kobe Bryant used to train in Irving.
Oh, wow.
In Irvine, California, not Irving, Irvine. And I had a job opportunity out there. It's like Equinox, which is the most expensive gym in the United States. I think a membership's like $350. But I had an opportunity to work there, and I was trying to decide, do I like move to California full time or do I come back to Amarillo? And I was like, I'm just going to come back to Amarillo and make some money. And then I ended up staying. And then about 2 weeks before I was going to open up my small gym, I got a call from Canada saying like, hey, we're going to offer you a contract. And it was $50,000 or open my gym. And I'm just going to retire and just call it good. And then I decided to keep my gym, which obviously is a good decision now, but it was hard at the moment because I was like, do I give up playing professionally? That was my dream. Or do I follow this unknown path as far as like...
That's what I was about to say, man. That's a tough choice. I mean, do what you love or
do what you love or do what you love.
Man.
That'd be tough. But you said there's no regret there. You made the right decision. And here in Amarillo, just to see that we've always talked about it. Amarillo is relationship based, right?
Big time.
Yeah. It's just, you get to know somebody, they're going to support your business. Like whatever it is, that's what we're built off. Bigger cities, it's transactional. What I like to say, it's transactional. You might do some business, never hear from them, never talk to them again. Yeah. But here, it's just to have that support. So from you growing up in Cali, and you're like, man, I could go back there, and I can. But you even said earlier, like opening up this gym I have anywhere else, it's probably not happening.
Yeah, because like in my head, I was like, I'm just gonna open a small studio, train like pro athletes and actors. That was it. Like I was gonna go work at Equinox for a little bit, but that was my like a little 1,000 square foot because it would have been way expensive for rent. But that was my plan. Yeah. And then
it turned into this.
Yeah, it turned into this. This was not the plan.
Well, how'd the name come about?
We started with the logo first. Okay. So me and my brother are from California. So the original creators of it was me, my brother, and my wife. So we started with CA. We came with the logo that wasn't trademarked, so I trademarked that. So I own that, and then we just started coming up with names. And then we wanted to. Most clothing companies like Nike, it doesn't to me, it doesn't mean anything. So Contagion Athletics, in reality, it means whoever you're around is what you become. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing. Because if you hang out with 5 people who are doing drugs and doing bad things, you're probably going to be one of those. If you're on the opposite, where you got 5 entrepreneurs, you're probably going to be an entrepreneur doing good things. So that's kind of where that became. And then it started because I'm all about chasing your dreams. Doesn't matter what you do. So if you're around people who are like that, then you will become that, and hopefully you accomplish those dreams.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So surrounding yourself with that. We talk about, one of the favorite things I like to talk about is your circle, right? Like you just mentioned. Yeah. And I want to just ask you this. So once you got into this journey, even from when you were younger to now where you're at, let me ask, how did your circle, did you start to see it kind of maybe dissolve a little bit into a smaller group, or was it just the people that clique that you had, it was like, man, we're going to uplift each other? I've noticed that for some people, the older I get, I've noticed my circle has died down. But smaller. You notice the smaller it is. I've noticed the smaller it is, the more value it sometimes has. Yep. So I want to ask you about that as far as you let's get back into that.
That's a good question.
How your circle is. And I'm not trying to have you bash on me.
No, you're good.
But I just want young entrepreneurs that want to do, be in the position you're in to know, hey, it's very important, like you said, to hit on that. The people you surround yourself with, that could be your future, right?
For me, I was always the one not doing the things my friends were doing. I'll be honest. I grew up in California. I grew up in Riverside. I grew up with gangbangers. When I was 16, my best friend got shot and killed, in the head from 2 feet away. So, I grew up in that kind of area. It was very Hispanic. That's what I grew up with. Yeah. That's just what I'm from. So, I didn't want to be a part of that. And my friends didn't want me to be a part of that. So I was always kind of doing my own thing. But from an entrepreneurial standpoint, from the time that I could remember, I was always about making money because we didn't have money. So I was like, how can I, I used to sell CDs. I used to sell energy drinks. I used to sell all those things. So, I used to go down, dig out of trash cans at the tire shops and go sell wheels that were bent or whatever, or go trade them in at the recycler. I'm no lie. Yeah. Anything that I could make $1, I would do that. And to this day, it's the same thing. Obviously, it's a different scale.
Yeah, bigger scale.
But back then it wasn't like that. And some of my friends are still in jail. So I don't really it's a different thing because if I could have easily sold drugs and went that route. I didn't. My friends did not want me to be a part of that. I hung out with them, don't get me wrong, but when it was coming to that, I would always stay away from that because it's just not something that I wanted to be a part of. And back then, I was trying to be a pro soccer player because that was before football. So I knew if I went down that way, I would not have a chance at playing high level soccer.
Yeah, so you made it out, man, and you're killing it. We
Absolutely.
See it. We keep up with you on social media and all that stuff.
I appreciate it.
I wanted to go back to that car stuff though. So a while back, I read a story.
Yep.
About the cops taking a car from you.
They never took a car. That's the rumor.
What's the rumor? What's the story? What's the truth behind it?
Well, now that it's kind of
Can we talk about it? Can we talk about
of course. Okay. I've talked about it before on a different podcast. Yeah. There's a gym in town. I'm not going to say who it is. Yeah. It's a female-only gym. You could probably figure it out if you Google it. But some of their members were having an issue with the owner there. So I said, hey, if you want, you can come work out at my gym for free for a month. And from what I understand is the husband knew somebody in the police force, made up a bunch of lies saying I was selling steroids and drugs out of my house, and that's how I paid for my gym. I'm like, bro, that's not how that works. But that was the rumor.
Yeah.
So they raided my house. They didn't find anything, obviously, because. But the whole story of like my YouTube, and that was just like a way to get into my house.
It was crazy, yeah.
Yeah. So they were just really trying to screw me over. It had nothing to do with racing. It had nothing to do with any of that. It was just, that was the cover up. And I found that out after when the judge and the other lawyer were talking to me about it after I already like pleaded to get out of it. Because I was like, I'm just going to get rid of this so I can get out of it. But yeah, that was the big thing.
Okay, because my understanding was that car, and then because they have one at their department. It's like a Challenger, I think.
Yeah.
Green.
Yeah. No, that was the rumor, and I'm like, ain't nobody touch any of my cars. I can promise you
not
that.
Not my car.
Yeah.
No, well, that's good to clear that up, man.
Well, to clear that up and be able to just stay focused, right, and continue to focus on your business. That was that was what your goal was.
Yeah, because for me, like, it was cool. Like, I have clients who were with me at my old gym, and like I was afraid. I was like, these people are gonna leave me, but it literally didn't affect my business at all. And the person who was trying to do that was trying to mess up my business. Yeah. So obviously, I do things legitimately because otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah. So, especially with everything that you got going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you have to be doing it right. Cause,
there's no, you can't do illegal things and have like an expensive building and a gym and like that doesn't. That's not how the real world works. I wish it was, but that's not how it works. Yeah.
Well, we've also noticed, keeping up with your social media, you're really just active. Like, your marketing is top notch.
The cars, the wraps.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I've always been good at branding, and, like, again, I couldn't afford things, but I've always had ideas in my head as far as, like, how to brand and how to market. So I think I'm decently good at it because, like, I came up with the wraps and stuff like that. It was just a very unique idea that no one was doing years ago.
That's what I was going to ask. How did that process go about? You something you saw online, or... How did that come up?
I'm a big this is funny. Because of where I'm from, I'm a big fan of paisley and bandanas. So big fan of that. So that's always part of my brand. Like if there's paisley on my cars, there's paisley at my gym. So I'm a big fan of that. I ended up finding a lady who's super famous now, but back then she's not. She does graphic design and created the whole wrap for me, and then I've done different iterations and colors and all that good stuff on a bunch of different cars and vehicles.
Dang.
So
they look nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, they do.
Thank you.
That's where I got my inspiration for my wrap.
Hey, man, you should do it.
It stands out for sure. It's like, hey, whoa.
Good marketing too. Yeah, right off.
Yeah.
So whenever you got into this journey of doing this, and we like to ask about like a mentor or somebody that you've looked up to, right? Like you're someone you've idolized. Is there anyone like that you just really looked up to? Like, I want to be like that someday.
Sadly, like, no.
That's fine.
That probably sounds like egotistical, but no.
Yeah.
I didn't have a dad growing up, so I didn't have that father figure to look for. I had to create my own. So I never was like, one person that I think is cool is like Rob Deerdeck. Like, I like how he does thousands of different things.
Yeah.
But I didn't really like know about him until years later.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily look up to anybody because I feel like you should run your own race.
Absolutely, that's good. That's good.
You should run your own race. But as far as like mentors and stuff, I had to like create my own for that. There was no I want to be like my dad or something like that. There was none of that. Yeah. So
have you ever had anyone approach you, like asking you for some advice when it comes to maybe that kind of stuff?
Sometimes like people ask me like, I want to open a gym. And I'm like, I don't think you should. Like, because I think a lot of people think being an entrepreneur is like, I got to make all this money and make my own hours. I'm like, bro,
it's hard.
That is like, I work for myself because I don't like people tell me what to do. Like, I would rather work 100 hours a week than someone be like, hey, you got to give me that report in by 5 p.m. on Friday.
Or did you clock out?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, that's how it works, man. But you're killing it, obviously. Besides the gym and stuff, obviously you stay busy with your business and stuff. What are some of your hobbies? Do you like to?
I like working.
That's you're doing what you love.
Yeah,
so you can see it as a hobby.
Honestly, I like making events. Like that's probably a hobby of mine. Whenever I get to go drag racing, which is few and far between, that's something that I like to do because it's the only time. It sounds so cliche, but for 30 seconds, I get to like not think about anything.
Yeah.
Because usually my mind is just thinking about things all the time.
And y'all do that out there at the
drag strip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a whole event or just for fun?
No, we do. I mean, we do events out there. We've got one next September or this September, so in like a month. We do several out there, and then me and my brother are going to start rebuilding the drag strip after October. So we're going to start raising funds for that, just to make it more more like a real drag strip instead of like a country back road drag strip. So
it's just for you. Is it like always? What's the next thing?
Yeah.
Next thing.
Yeah. It sucks because my wife doesn't understand that. Like, aren't you happy? And I'm like, I don't think I'll ever be technically happy. Like, I could have 10 gyms, I could have 100 cars. But it's always like, what's the next thing? Yeah. So I don't. That's like my toxic trait is I don't think, like I don't know if I'll ever be good enough in my own eyes. Yeah. Because I've had to like create my own way and do my own thing. And I feel like I'm still like building the path.
Yeah. Well, most of the successful people, they'll never be satisfied with just good enough, right? Yeah. You're never satisfied, right? Because when you get satisfied, I always say that's where you stop growing. Yeah. Right? So it's always what's the next step. So I can only imagine.
Even people that are like millionaires, like they could just retire and ride off to the sunset.
To them, they're like, this is going to run out eventually.
You see that in every successful person because that's what it takes, that mentality to keep going, to want to do more. Yeah. And that's why they're in their position.
Yeah, you got to be like slightly psychotic, I think.
Exactly. Do you have trouble falling asleep and stuff at night or no?
Of course.
Dude, because that's what I tell him. Like at night, my brain just clicks. And I'm up till 2 in the morning just thinking of ideas.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah. All the time.
I'll get a text like at 4 or 5 in the morning. He's like, dude, so here's what we do for the podcast. I'm like, yo. It's just so the next question I have for you is you're doing really good with this and you're always thinking of the next step. I like to ask maybe what does the next 5 or 10 years look like? What's the goal there for you?
Next goal for me is I want to build a gym in Dallas. And then from there I want to have, like in 10 years, realistically, I think I can have 3 more gyms. Nice. I think 10 years from now.
Awesome.
So Dallas is that's the next thing. As far as like where in Dallas, not sure yet. But next year we should start looking at land and figuring out where our next step is. If we would have started in Dallas, I would have already have gym number 2 and probably working on number 3. But I always tell people, if you can make something in Amarillo work, you can literally go anywhere. Because to me, this is the hardest market. Because people are very supportive, but at the same time, if your restaurant is not very good, no one will go there. Yeah. Like, it's very, they're very supportive both ways, though.
Exactly. So, word of mouth.
Yeah,
it can be really good or really bad.
Yeah, you see all these restaurants, they open up. A year later, they're gone. Yeah.
Well, it's just, especially within, the economy, man, is I can only imagine for business owners, but the fact that you have been able to overcome and just keep growing and growing is awesome, though. That means that you're doing something right.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I mean, we literally opened when COVID hit Amarillo. Yeah. And that was like the worst time. And I was like, we just opened this? Yeah. Like, I'm going to be bankrupt in like 2 months. Because we would put like papers on the windows when the health department would come by. Like, we'd have like walkie-talkie. Like, we'd snuck people into the gym because I was like, bro, I got to pay my bills. Yeah. Like, the overhead on this gym is ridiculous. So, but yeah, I don't know. For me, I want to get to Dallas and see what I can really do, to be honest.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I can imagine. You put something like that in Dallas, it's going to blow up.
It's
for
crazy,
sure.
Like a drive-through and all that good stuff.
So how does that process work? All these events that you put together. Yeah. Like, because you've had kind of like a business connect show, right? A bunch of vendors set up in there. He does all sorts of stuff in that gym.
The trunk or treat.
They do that. We went to that one the bodybuilding and all of that stuff. When that happens, right? You have your gym to run. You have all these things to do. How does that look like for you when you put these events together? And you said you enjoy it. I do.
But like, I'll be honest. I have an assistant. Her name's Angela. She'll probably watch this. Shout out Angela. But without her, I wouldn't be able to do what I do because she is. Well, now she's as crazy as me because I feel like once you're around somebody. But she's been my assistant for like 3 years. So without her, like we wouldn't be able to do the things because I'm the crazy one who's like, this is the idea. I need you to figure it out. Yeah. So. Yeah. But yeah, we do trunk or treat, which like last year we had like 5,000 or 6,000 kids. We had we always do our Easter egg hunt. I always put on the bunny suit.
That's you?
Yeah, that's me. we always get like thousands of kids for that, and it's always free. Like I don't care if you come to my gym or not. Like I just want a safe spot where kids can have fun.
There you go.
Can you imagine, bro? That's a swole bunny. It's like that. That's a swole. Like,
it's a very tight suit. I'll tell you that much. It's a very tight suit.
I'll be like, that bunny got a membership.
They get hot, bro. I dressed up as the Grinch for Christmas.
It's hot.
Man.
It's hot.
And we go to like insurance agents or some churches and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, man, it's crazy.
It's hot.
That's what it takes, though, bro. You do it for the kids.
Yeah.
It's never too hot for the kids.
At any of your events that you've had, what is like, well, maybe, has there been any crazy experiences?
I've got a good one.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So we just had the food truck war. Now you guys have probably heard about it, I'm sure.
I was gonna ask.
So what happened is we had, I think originally we had 20 trucks sign up. We had 15 pay to be there. So they paid for their spot.
Yeah.
And they had to get their own food permit. I can't, that's not on me, that's on the food truck.
Yeah.
I find out like the morning of that only 6 did it, and I'm like, and we've emailed, called, text. My assistant is like, yeah, we'll be there, and we had 6 show up. I got my ass reamed on Facebook.
I saw that.
I only charged $15 again. Like people think I made money. I didn't make any money. Like it was lit because we gave away $3,500 to the winner for the winners. I was like, we didn't make any money. I was just doing this to like see. So. Yeah. That was the biggest fumble I've ever had, and so next year we're gonna give away $10,000, and we're gonna do our own permits because I've already talked to the city, and they're gonna help us with that. And I was just like, I can't like. So next year I told my assistant, I was like, we have to knock this out of the park. Like, there is no.
And that's good that you're taking accountability for it because I saw you make a video. Yeah. You talked about it, be like, hey. Whoever's coming next year, I'm going to get y'all in for free.
Yeah. Like, if you had a bad experience, which I would say 90% of the people who came were fine, but there was those 10% who, like, roasted me on Facebook, said I was a scammer. I'm like, bro, I don't make any money on this. Yeah. Like, what am I scamming? For $15? I was like, bro, if this was in Dallas, you'd pay, like, $50.
Yeah.
So we'll get that all settled. It's not a big deal, but like I don't care if I mess up because I know I can always improve it.
Yeah, exactly. It's how you grow. It's how you learn.
Because I guarantee, even if the 15 food trucks would have showed up, those 10% would have complained.
Still said something.
Yeah, they'd have been like, the lines are too long. I'm like, I don't know what you want from me. So yeah, it is what it is.
I just had to ask because I was like, all these events you put on, that surely
they're not all going to go
some. No, and this was the first year. Like the bodybuilding, that was year 4. Powerlifting, year 4. So we have all that figured out. I knew the food truck we'd have some hiccups, but that was something else.
So you said that not all of them had their permits though to be like selling their food. So then they
So then I got roasted on Facebook, and I'm like, because I'm not gonna call out businesses and be like, you told me, like, you paid $150 to be here.
Yeah.
Like we talked to you 2 days ago. So
well, that says a lot about you though, because you were doing that to really help a lot of these businesses too, right? You were helping them, and then you get in trouble for it, and now you're like, even though you don't really have to, you're like, I'm gonna make this right.
Exactly.
Now I'm gonna give away $10,000.
Yeah.
Let's start a food truck. Yeah, I was about to say that.
Right now. I mean, like $10,000 to a business would do a lot. So I was like, all right, you guys want to. Okay, I'll make it better. Watch.
Yeah,
so, that's awesome. That's awesome, though. I mean, like you said, you're taking accountability, even in moments you don't have to. It just says a lot about you, Kevin. Yeah. So, again, we're going to get into some more with you. Let's take a quick break real quick. But we're going to hear some more about Kevin Van Voris, man. You got some interesting stuff.
That's awesome. All right, we're back. So we were talking about your recovery room, your cold plunge. Because we've been talking about doing it. How does y'all barely did it? What you said a couple months ago?
Yeah. So we put about, I think it was like $40,000 total. Built a wall, painted it. Basically, we shrunk the cafe because the cafe it's huge. Yeah. So we shrunk it. It's co-ed, so that way you got. And then we have 3 individual saunas, so you can go in there, you play your own music. It's got color you can change, whatever. Dude. Set the temperature. Then you got massage chairs. We've got the Normatec compression sleeves you can sit in and chill. And we have a cold plunge, which a lot of people really like. So it's self-cleaning. We change the water once a week just to make sure it's clean.
What temperature do those stay at?
Between 42 and 44 degrees. So, I mean, it's pretty cold.
That's cold.
Most people stay in like maybe 6 to 10 minutes. Because you don't need to be in there that long.
Yeah. You did personal training before, right? You said?
I still do.
You still do? Yeah, so what's the benefits of that cold plunge?
It just helps with like inflammation and soreness.
That's what I was going to ask.
Recovery?
Yeah. It's just a recovery tool. So most people, what they'll do is they'll sit in there first, then they'll go to the sauna, and they'll sit in the massage chair. And then that's kind of what they do.
Dang, you had all that.
Hey, gosh. Yeah. I'm going to go in the morning.
So that's it's not like an added cost. Like it's free for members Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then if you want like 24/7 access, we have an elite club. Okay. So you can go like at 2 a.m. or whatever. So
your gym is 24/7.
24/7.
Staff too, you said?
Yeah.
That's cool, huh?
I didn't know that.
That way, like, if a female comes at 2 a.m., she feels comfortable. Yeah. Or if you get a flat tire in the parking lot at midnight, someone can help you out. That's happened before.
So. Yeah. That's crazy.
That brings me back to my question, though, that we're talking about crazy stories. Has there been any like fights or anything in your gym?
Luckily, no.
Did you see that one at
Bro, I always get tagged and stuff like that. No one shot up our building or had cops come or anything like that. No, luckily, I don't know the best way to say this, but when you have a $10 gym, you're going to have $10 problems.
Yeah.
And so, you know what I mean? I don't know the right way to say that.
That's the right way right there.
You know, like, so.
Did you see that guy get tased?
No.
No, at Crunch?
No.
Some dude got tased.
At Crunch?
Yeah, the cop like straight up just tased it.
He's like,
he didn't want to leave
he shot
or something.
it. I don't remember, but yeah, it was bad. And then the shooting that was in there, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I live right down the street from Crunch. I don't know. I stay out the way. I stay out the way, man. I'm in my own zone. That's all. That's crazy. 24/7.
Yeah.
You just added the recovery room.
Yep.
Do you mind if I ask, like, how do the memberships look? So if anyone's watching this and they're looking for a gym.
They start at $84. So it's not the most expensive gym in town. Like, Verdure is more expensive, not month to month, but they have like a $400 initiation fee. Mm-hmm. Downtown Athletic Club, I think, is $150 a person now. So we're still cheaper than those two. But realistically, like, the gym is built for people who want to work out. If you want a country club vibe, that's cool, but it's not Verdure and it's not the Downtown Athletic Club.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is, I would love for people to know who the owner is of all those places because they wouldn't know, but you know who the owner is of my gym, and like I'm always there.
True, yeah.
You know what I mean. Like when I go to a local restaurant, like if I go to Drunken Oyster, Rory is probably going to be there. You know, so I think having an owner there is a big deal. And then the other thing too is like, I order new equipment. Like I'm going to order a bunch of new equipment for next year. Yeah. Yeah. So because I'm always trying to update and stay ahead of it. Where the town club, they probably have almost the same equipment that I've had since I was there 10 years ago, or Golds, or like they don't really change very much.
Yeah.
For me, I would rather put my members first than try and make another dollar because those members are the reason you're able to make money in the first place.
That's good.
That's so true.
That's awesome. Yeah, I thought I'd ask because I mean, it's always nice to know those because man, sometimes gyms do get pretty pricey, man. I'm like,
but you pay for quality.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not paying no $175, $150 for a gym membership. I'm just being honest with you.
I would say the difference between us and like Verdure and Downtown Athletic Club is the equipment. Most gyms in town, probably 90% of them, just have normal. Give me whatever the baseline equipment is. Like us, ours is all handmade. It's either in Tennessee or it's in Pennsylvania. It's all American made. Like our dumbbells alone, just for one rack, was $50,000. But they were custom made. Like I wanted the best of the best. Like we probably have, I don't know, close to $1 million just in equipment. There's not a gym in town that has that, and I'm gonna keep adding more and more and more and more. So until I can't fit anymore. So
open up another one.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that one of your goals is working your way to Dallas with the gym. Is that where you see yourself maybe making a home, or are you just going to open it and still?
Absolutely not. I will never live in Dallas. No. I was just there because I was coaching bodybuilding there. I don't think I can ever live in a big city ever again. Yeah. But if I want to make another 8 gyms after that, I need to go to Dallas. It's got to be a big city. Because like the other thing too is the normal salary here for a household I think is like $40,000 maybe. You go to Dallas, you're looking in the 6-figure range for a household. Yeah. Our income is still pretty low here. Yeah. But that's why it's affordable to live here too. But I would rather go to Dallas where people make more money. They don't blink at like $150 membership. Yeah. Yeah. Like Lifetime out there, I think is $250 just to start. Most of the gyms like are around $100 for a membership. So, which means you can have a nicer gym and nicer equipment and a bigger facility and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's some good goals, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
I just thought I'd ask.
You have your head straight, man. So we have no doubt you're going to do that. Like,
I'm trying.
We can see the hard work and the dedication that you put into your business, and I think it'll be successful.
I love what I do. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. Like I still personal train in person. Like,
that's what I was going to ask you. How many people do you train?
Normally, it's like 10 to 12 a day. So like I stay on the floor most of the time, but I really enjoy personal training. I've always loved that. At some point, I'll have to really minimize that to just a couple clients per day, and am going to hate when that day comes, but that day will come eventually.
It's going to drive you nuts. Huh?
It is. It's just, I really enjoy it. Like, I have clients who drive all the way from Hereford still for like 8 or 9 years. They still train with me.
Really?
In person. Yeah.
Shout out H-Town.
Yeah.
Heard is the final word.
So I'm blessed to be able to train those people, and they've been with me that long. Like, a lot of my clientele are with me for several years. So it'll suck whenever that time does come. It's not anytime soon, but at some point, I'll have to shrink my training schedule, and I'm going to hate it. But if I'm going to have to go do 3, 4, 5, 6 gyms, there'll be.
You're going to have to, man.
I'm going to have to.
Most definitely, and I'm pretty sure they'll understand that. But I like what you said is. No, you want people to go to the gym and know who the owner is, or any kind of place you go to.
Exactly.
And I remember whenever I would go film, you're always present. Or if I think I went in there a few years ago. Obviously, never made my way in there, but a few years ago, and I think you were the one that greeted me. So that's just awesome. Like you're there, you're greeting people, you're very friendly. It says a lot about you. You have this successful gym, and it's only going to grow. Your success is only going to keep you're going to keep prospering.
Yeah.
Just number one, because you have the right mindset, but you're just genuinely a good guy.
Yeah.
Right? You got a good mindset. Nobody's perfect, but you have the right mindset, and in everything you do, the how you stay involved in the community. What I get from you is you're always looking out. How can I help the community? How can I help someone else? Right? Yeah. It's never been about you. We say this to our business owners that come in here. It's got to be bigger than yourself.
Yes, 100%. It has to be. If you have that mindset where you're like very egotistical, self-centered, you're not going to make it, dude. Especially in Amarillo, you will. Yeah, they will chop your head off. But you should always be trying to give back to the community for sure. Even if it's just holding an event or donating to a charity or whatever it is, like it's not that hard. And I wish more people would do that, because there's a lot of business owners that I know that don't do very much.
Man, they just keep that money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we're in business too, and that's what I tell our guys and myself. Hey, we need to go be doing something.
I agree.
Toys, go volunteer somewhere, and
whether it's like just buying a few turkeys for Thanksgiving, like
absolutely,
it goes a long way just giving back a little bit.
Yeah, it does, and it makes you feel good, man. Like I like the feeling of when our guys, when we do anything for Christmas or whatever. Yeah, sometimes they're like, man, how long do we got to be out there? But after it, they're like, dude,
they're picking up their toys.
Yeah, they're like, the feeling was just you can't. It's indescribable.
It's crazy.
So do you have anything else you wanted to?
No. I was gonna just say thank you for coming out, and I know you're a busy man, and it means a lot that you made it.
No, I appreciate you guys having me.
Let's talk about any recent or any upcoming events you got going on.
So we've got a drag race event. That'll be the last one of the year. That's September 14th. It's a lot of fun. If you've never been out to the drag strip, it's cool. It's a lot of fun as far as like racing goes. And then we have our big trunk or treat, which is the last Saturday, and that'll be ridiculous. Like it's always out of control. So this will be our 5th year having it. Last year, like there was a line like down the street, and it was like raining. It was cold, but we did like a haunted house last year, so we're gonna try and up that this year. We're gonna have games, and it's gonna be pretty wild. It's a lot of fun. It's free. We invite everybody out. Doesn't matter if you come to my gym or not. If you don't like me, I don't care. Come out, get some candy for your kids. I don't care. It's always a good time.
So that's last Saturday of October.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
The drag race. Cool.
Well, perfect. Well, this right here is my favorite. This is my favorite thing to ask. We bring you on. We hear your story. Thanks again for taking time to come on Hustlers Horizon podcast. Now, Kevin, there's somebody out there who wants to start a business. Maybe they want to start a gym. I know you said don't do it. But, whether it's that or they just want to start a business in general, right? And they come up to you and they're like, look, I want to do this. I'm a little scared. Like, where do I start? What's that advice you'd give to somebody like younger or older? It's never too late to start the business and go for it. Start.
Don't be afraid. If you never take a risk, like, trust me, I signed my life away for that gym. But I believed in myself, and I knew I could see the forest through the trees type of deal. So you have to believe in yourself enough to risk it. Doesn't matter what people say. Like, people think I'm nuts because of like how much of a risk this was. But I was like, I went from 1,900 square feet to 37,000. You have to take the risk. If you don't take the risk, you will not be one of the guys driving a nice car or living in a nice house or whatever your goal is. Like, you won't do. You have to take the risk. So just whatever it is, love it. Be a perfect, know everything about it, and then just go kill it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Some good advice.
Go for it, man. Yep. Believe in yourself. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yep. Well, guys, it's Hustlers Horizon Podcast, episode 24. Yes, 24, man. We just keep going and growing, and it's just awesome. Again, guys, thank you for your support for our podcast. Make sure to like us on Facebook. You can catch these episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Hustlers Horizon Podcast, the podcast where we hustle up, level up, shift the mindset to build a better us and build a better business. As always, we will see you next episode. But for now, enjoy this one.
Yes, sir.